Hi, welcome to day 5 of our journey into beauty as a soulful language. We're halfway through this series, and it's very exciting to see what it's all evolving into and how it's all coming together in a way that allows us to see our own definition of beauty and diving deeper into what we find beautiful in the world. And within our inner world. So today's topic, jumping right into it, is the word for beauty. The translation of beauty in the Japanese language is wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi. W-A-B-I-S-A-B-I. And according to the book that we've been referring to by Crispin Sartwell, The 6 Names of Beauty, that definition in the Japanese culture and in the Japanese language has this essence, this feeling of humility and imperfection. So if we think about that definition, think about beauty from that facet, we find that beauty is it's imperfect. When you see things that are imperfect and that have their own expression in their own life, we find this urge to go within our own life and find the things that we try to perfect, the things that we try to make perfect, the things within our own inner world that we hide from the outer world because they're imperfect in our mind or in our perception of expectation of culture or society or whatever our circumstances that we live in. So thinking about this from this angle, when you dive into your own inner world and finding the things that are imperfect, and finding the things that bring that sense of humility into your own perspective and your own approach to the things that you do. What do you see there? What is it that might be caged within you because of that imperfection? And when we tap into that humility, it might allow that uncaging of that imperfection and knowing that you can show up no matter how imperfect you are and that there's beauty to that. I've talked a lot about, if you're following me on Instagram and on social media, I've talked a lot about behind the scenes of this series and of launching this vlog. And I have had to, what I've talked about there is I have had to jump through so many hurdles that I have around perfection in order to just do this simple 10-day series. Because we put so much pressure on ourselves. I know I put so much pressure on myself to be perfect, to have my makeup perfect or my hair perfect or to be dressed perfectly. And beyond that, when it comes to sharing your voice and sharing your creativity and creative expression from within, there's always a perfection element. There's always a perfection element. And for me, that perfection element has stopped me from sharing really anything in a lot of ways. I feel in my own life I have found outlets of creativity where I've been able to share things, share my voice, and not have to worry so much about that imperfection because I spend the time to perfect it. But outside of that perfecting whatever it is, whatever voice is trying to emerge, I have a very, very hard time doing that and allowing myself to express in whatever way, shape, or form without going through that perfection refiner's fire. So this series alone for me has been my my own intention of jumping through that no matter what. No matter what I look like, I will show up and I will do a video. No matter what the video turns out like, I'll do what I can to make it the best that I can, but I'm not going to let this inner dialogue of perfection keep me from posting the video. So that's the reason that I kicked off my channel with this 10 days, this 10-day series, one video per day, was for my own self to step through that perfectionism, that perfection, almost the blinders that perfection puts on delivering the messages that we have to deliver. So in the extreme nature of keeping it within and oppressing it so that we don't even share it at all. And that's been my experience. So I said, okay, if this is what I'm feeling called to do, to speak through video and to do this channel and to do whatever it is I'm feeling called to do, I know for a fact that for myself, I have to go into it showing up no matter what. And when that perfection dialogue comes up, I have to be able to talk out of it. I have to be able to do it anyway. I was a part of a course called Manifest Being Seen by Chris Donnelly and Rebecca Berg. I always get her last name wrong. Rebecca, I'm so sorry. They put out this beautiful course called Manifest Being Seen, and it was about this topic, really. It was about that fear that we have around being seen, and especially through social media. And they taught a lot about social media as well in alignment with that, walking through that fear. And a part of that course, they coined the hashtag "posted is better than perfect." And couldn't agree more. So I knew going into this, that just kept reeling in my head. Posted is better than perfect. Posted is better than perfect. Posted is better than perfect. So every time I have gone to post something and that dialogue has come up of, oh, you can hear your dogs in the background of that video, or oh, it's glitching at the end, or oh, that outro you did looks not great, you should probably redo it, or oh my gosh, the second video was way too long, edit it up, redo it. All of that stuff, all that's coming through my mind, I meet it with posted is better than perfect, because I knew that this was an opportunity for me to step through that fear that I have around sharing my voice in an imperfect way. And it also, through this process, it's helped me to see this, to be humble, to come at things from a humility standpoint. And I think that humility is such a deep, there's so much deep meaning to humility, to being humble, because it's almost this sense of, you don't have to be perfect. When you show up imperfect, you are showing this humility, this vulnerability around who you are, and being humble in that, knowing that it's beautiful in its own way, and it's exactly what it needs to be in that moment, in the way that you're showing up. So I'm looking at my phone right now because I want to get my dear friend Rebecca's last name right. Becca B is what she has on her Instagram account. Okay, go follow her. She's amazing. It's on Instagram. It's me, Becca Lee. She is marketing maven genius. She's incredible. Such sweetest person, such an incredible mentor to me. I had the opportunity of meeting her and Chris Donnelly in person about a month ago, and just being in their presence was life-changing. They are doing so many beautiful things to help people, especially women, step through these hurdles that we find ourselves in when we have a message to share, but have this fear around sharing it. So go follow at It's Me, Becca Lee, and Chris Ann Donnelly is at Pixie Curio on Instagram. I think Pixie is Pixio. No, Pixie, hold. This is important, I promise. And here's my realness coming into this video. Again, not perfect. I wasn't prepared for this. Here we go. Chris Ann is Pixie, Pixiecurio. I'm going to put it in the comments too, their handles. If you're not following them already, do, because they will change your life. Even if you don't do their courses, just following them, they'll make such a difference. Chris Ann is honestly the reason I'm doing this channel and these videos, because I've been feeling called to do them, and she reaffirmed that and helped kind of nudge me into this. So I'm very grateful for that. So that was one tangent, but it's really important because they have taught me so much about this and so much about it's okay to be imperfect, and that's what is relatable. That's what people attach to. They want to see you in a like your vulnerability. They want to see that you're imperfect because they find that beautiful, and it helps them understand that it's okay to not have this external pressure, or to fulfill this external pressure of being perfect, or whatever that looks like. Externally, you can show up as you are, no matter if that is in alignment with that external pressure that we have on being perfect or not. You show up as you are. So today's episode, wabi sabi, Japanese for beauty, which loosely translated the essence of how that is perceived in the Japanese culture and language, according to this book, 6 Names of Beauty, is imperfection and humility. So our exercise for today is similar to yesterday's, where it was a go out there and do type exercise, not necessarily a journaling one. Journaling attached to it, but there's an activity involved. So this activity is, think of one thing that you are not doing because of perfection. Just one thing. It can be anything. Or that you feel like you're talking yourself out of because it will make you look or feel vulnerable. Just think of one thing, write it down, and I'm not going to make you do it right now. I can't make you do anything, but I'm going to speak to your soul and invite your soul to urge you to do that one thing, whatever it might be. I had an experience very recently where I felt prompted to reach out to someone, and I kept talking myself out of it. Just simple things that kept coming in my mind, like, oh, you need to get to work. Like, don't worry, don't do it right now. You can do it later. And then I got into, well, what if I do, like, what I'm wanting to reach out about, it's vulnerable, and I'll probably cry and show a lot of emotion, and if I do that, how's it going to be received? And, all the dialogue that you get when you have that feeling, or that inner prompting or intuition to do something, and your mind pops in and starts trying to talk you out of it, right? And I'm so glad that I acted and I did what I did. And honestly, it's as simple as that. If there's something that you feel prompted to do that you're not doing, simple thing could be just sending a text or calling someone, or something just as simple as that, and you're not doing it because you don't want to look vulnerable or imperfect, or whatever that might be. Just do it. One activity, one thing, and anything that comes up, you can write it down and pick the one that feels the most digestible at the time. That's the exercise for today. Just show up imperfectly. in whatever capacity it is, show up imperfectly. Say yes to the things that you feel called to. Whether you're prepared or not, just say yes, because there might be, on the other side of not being prepared, there's just that chance that it's going to be exactly what you needed in that moment. And had you had waited until you were perfect or fully ready or fully prepared, opportunity's gone, and that connection to that beauty of that moment or experience is now absent, or will need to show up in a different way. So do it anyway. Just walk through it, show up differently, and do it anyway. Being that imperfect self. You don't have to be perfect. I am giving you permission right now to not be perfect, and to approach things from a humble place, and sharing that imperfection, because that is beautiful. It's such a powerful facet of beauty, and one that we need to explore even deeper, because, and I think on a subconscious level we do, and on a soul level we do, because a lot of times the things that we're trying to perfect, that perfection that comes in, it doesn't exist, first of all. And second of all, whatever that illusion of perfection is there to distract you, to distract your mind from what your soul's calling you to do. And they're usually invoked by a pressure or an expectation that is outside of yourself, outside of your purpose, which means it's not in alignment with your purpose and with your soul. So when we live in a world like we do, where everybody has an opinion and everybody thinks they know what's right and what you should do and how you should do it and how you should look and how you should feel and how you should process emotion and how you should do this and that, we have to get to a point where we are settling back in to who we are by taking that mask of perfection off. Because the world wants to see your true self. It wants to see when you show up as your true self, you alone have the power and the vibrance to raise the frequency of the earth and to activate the ascension of consciousness into the world that we are here to create, as light workers and light warriors and change makers and indigo crystal children, golden children, star seeds, whatever label you want to put on it. You have a purpose here, and it's deeply attached to earth, it's deeply attached to cosmos, it's deeply attached to the divine, to heaven, and you're the bridge between it. So it's that time to emerge in that imperfection from humility and approaching things from your trueness, from your raw, true self. Outside of perfection, in the most imperfect way that you can think of, because that's what people are going to relate to. That's what people are going to open their heart to, that will allow their soul to come forward and to shine and illuminate, and therefore take over those perfections and those pressures that we have upon ourselves, to show up differently than we were born to show up. It's time to say goodbye to that. It's time to show up as we were meant to show up here on earth. And your soul knows how that is, because your soul has brought with it all of the gifts and the beauty and the love that has that purpose within it. So that is the episode for today. I am very excited that we're on day 5. I would love to hear any insights that are coming up through each of these. We're getting to the point where you can start telling me your favorite one so far, your favorite definition, the one that maybe resonates the most with you or how you see beauty. You could also tell me what ones surprise you, like the different topics we talked about, maybe that expand your perspective on beauty and diving into this word deeper. And I also, it's my hope, the hope in my heart that this will further inspire you to look into other words that have meaning to you, and dive deep like we are on this 10-day journey. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wabi-sabi day. That's probably not how you would use it in context, but I hope you have a beautiful day and that you remember today and always to show up imperfectly. It doesn't matter if you are perfect or achieving anybody else's standard. It's up to you to show up in the life that you are creating, that is in alignment with your heart, your soul, your purpose, and your divine nature and gifts. I see you. I am grateful for you. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.